Hello, my friends, and welcome to my new YouTube channel. That is crazy to say. I've had the same YouTube channel for over 10 years, and so starting a new one. I'm keeping the old one, just so you know. But this is more specific for business, social selling, all of that. And I'll get all into all of that in a minute. So I'm coming to you today in a format that you will never see unless I'm going live on here. And the reason why is because if you know me, and if you don't know me yet, you will. I love things that are polished, thought through, planned, all of that. So the videos that you see on this channel are going to be, edited. They're going to have overlays and fun things because that's me. That's what I love to do. And I'm also going to be teaching. I haven't even started on like my list of what I want to talk about in this video, but um, I am going to be doing some teaching on editing things and how to have a workflow and all of that. But instead of my first video coming out on here being this overly polished, um, perfect video, I wanted to just come to you live, just even though I have 0 subscribers, because I'm literally launching the channel right this second. And I just wanted to share who I am, a little of my story, and why I'm creating this channel in a non edited, scripted way. I have a couple notes over here, but I really didn't even think long about it. I actually came up with these notes about 45 seconds ago because I just wanted to come and talk from the heart. So I guess I haven't even said my name yet. I'm AJ Yates. And I have been in marketing for, I feel like my entire life. But being paid for it, I would say around 17 years. So I actually come from it's 3 generations. I'm the third generation of entrepreneurs in my family. My family started a business in 1984. And I was born in 89. And so my crib was we have a chain of furniture stores to this day. My crib was in my mom's office. And so when I tell you that I sat in advertising and marketing meetings, I did without even having a choice because I was just in the room. And so, even over dinner growing up, it was the whole family was in it. And so it was always talking about sales and promos and buyer, thought processes and everything, right? And so then after, and even in high school, there's so many things in life that it's all stepping stones. And there's so many little stepping stones in my life that I'm like, thank you, God, for putting that step right there in front of me. But even in high school, I guess we had electives or something that we had to choose. And I chose, I don't think it was a graphic design class, but it was some sort of creative class because we actually designed things on Photoshop or whatever we were using back in the day. I can't even remember what it was. And then we had a room in our high school that had a t-shirt press that had the machine that like prints and actually like cuts paper, like those huge, huge machines that you could do business cards and things like that. And so even if I'll come back to that, but backing up, I actually put a post out about this the other day or a story out when I was young, because I was just always around business. I had like 6, 7 different businesses growing up. I would sell those bead animals. I would sell the little hot pan things. Can't remember the name of what they are, but I feel like if you were in that era, you know what I'm talking about. And I would always have these businesses always. And so I always had that urge and to be an entrepreneur and to grow things. And so that was, up until high school. That was me in like elementary school, middle school. I actually got in trouble in school for running like a business that was probably like illegal. But my dad, I guess that was whenever like Sam's and Costco and all of that came about. I just remember him buying like gel pens in bulk or like candy in bulk, and I would sell them to my classmates. And I got in trouble. I remember going to the principal's office for like, I don't even know. I was probably, I remember that. So I've always had that. And then in high school, I had that class. And so I remember creating t-shirts, and it was Fort Mill. So I created t-shirts that were like, you might be a Fort Mill girl if, and it had like all the reasons in the back. And I sold those. I would create business cards for people and sell those. And through that, I took like actual marketing and design concepts. Then into college, I went into business, and then I realized that it's not business that I love. I love the creative side, and the sales side. But I was sitting in accounting and I was like, I hate this. I literally hate this so much. And I had statistics and all those, that like economics, all that side I hate. And so I changed my major like my junior year. Might have been late sophomore, junior. I don't know. I changed it a couple times and I ended up graduating, even though I started with business, with a minor in marketing. I changed it to, and all of this has a point. I changed it to communications with and you could do focuses. So I had to focus on graphic design, journalism, and marketing. So like I did like everything. Like I remember even I had one class that was just on commercials. And we would watch commercials and product placement. And then there was different systems classes, which I loved so much. I remember having to create instructions for something. Like you would have to take things apart and create instructions for it. Like there were so many things that I learned all throughout, right? And then throughout college, I always had some marketing job or internship. I worked for a marketing firm. Um, I worked for the actual school in the summers, for their offices of public relations and things like that. And so I remember I designed like the student affairs website as a sophomore or junior in high school, and did a lot of like the PR stuff, marketing for the actual college that I went to. And then I was voted vice president of public relations for the student body. So then it was me doing all of and that was like the actual marketing. Like if we were hosting an event, I would order all of the swag for it and create the t-shirts and all of that. I was also president of my sorority. So I worked my way up from all the way from, like t-shirt chair to philanthropy, where I had to plan all of the, philanthropy events and do all the marketing and get people there. Then I went to Bursar, which is the money side, then vice president, then president. So all like literally I have been surrounded by marketing my whole life. And then after college, I went back and worked for my family business for 5 years. And in that time, I was director of marketing and public relations. And so I did all of the marketing and advertising. I worked with all of the radio stations, the TV stations, newspaper, magazines, did all of that, did all of their design, and I helped with video editing. I also took video editing in college. It was like a journalism editing though. Like we would have to go out and like film stories. And then but then I worked for my family business for a bit. When I was working for my family business, I realized that, and I feel like I always knew this, that I loved business, but I just didn't love the handcuffs of being attached to a table, an office. And I wanted to work from from wherever, whenever. And so I ended up, so I got married. And while I was trying to get in shape for our wedding, I bought products from a girl that I went to high school with, and weight loss. And then I ended up sharing those products with people on my bachelorette and just friends. And I made $34. And I was like, like, what could I do if I tried here? And so after we got married, and so that's why I always know like whatever wedding anniversary we come up on is how long I've also been in the industry for. After we got married, I officially launched my business. So I didn't, like all of you who were social selling, I like missed my quick start period. I missed all of that. Like I missed all the onboarding, all the traditional stuff. It was like 6 months later, if not more. And then that's whenever I caught the bug for social selling. And really, social media was different then. There wasn't a lot of video on social media yet, like the reels, all of that live wasn't around then, but I was doing it. And so I was up to like the mid-level rank in that company. And then I realized that like I just joined this company that was in front of me. I didn't look at options out there. I didn't like look for what I wanted to represent. It just accidentally happened. And I realized that I wanted to be more than just health and wellness. I wanted to really talk to my target audience. I was like 27 at the time, 26 at the time. And so I wanted to talk to that millennial age, and I didn't want to talk about gut health all the time, which gut health is important. I just wanted more options. And so then I found a hair care company. A girl that I had followed was doing it, and then I dove in there. And that was insane. I earned the car in like 40 some days. It was an Escalade, a white Escalade. And then I earned like the top trip within like a month, and it blew up. It was great. And then I ended up quitting my job with my family and saying, I love you guys, but I love the freedom of this industry. And then that's whenever I went all in, deciding that I wanted to build in the social space. Like I wanted to build businesses that I could be in my bed, or I could be in Bali, or I could be anywhere. I didn't have kids then, so my dreams were a little different. But I also long-term vision casting. I was like, if I build this now, whenever I do have kids, my life is going to be completely different. I'm never going to miss anything because I'll always be available for whatever they have going on. Um, and so then that company, I just like took off with them. That's where I really found my love for systems and creating things and creating, smart start groups and just doing like that, the business back end funnels, all of that side of it. That's where I really fell in love with that, because I had so much experience of marketing in general, commercials, all of like that kind of marketing, right? And then during this season is where I learned like how I personally connect, not just a brand that's selling a product, but I'm a person on the internet trying to convey to people that I can solve their problems. So that's when that era started for me. But then the company that I was partner with, a hurricane hit one of their places, and for products, and there was a lot of product issues, a lot of things that happened behind the scenes, and I couldn't put my name on it anymore. It was not something I could do, and so I started over at $0 with a new company. Like I got paid zilch to come over. I just was very passionate about, if I put my name on something, it's legit, right? And so then I partnered with another brand, hit the top there. I think it was 28 days, I think 21 days, 28 days, something like that. And then a couple years later, a new rank came out and I hit that same month too. So I've had a lot of experience in the social selling space. I have seen the whole internet shift. I have gone through this season of lives not being a thing, reels not being a thing, perfect Instagram feeds and everything being a preset, to those things coming out, and being an introvert and having to put myself out there with the lives and all of that, which I liked hiding behind a brand, right? That was like one of the hard, and I'll talk about a lot about that on this channel, is the things that I had to do to push through that, and to be able to build in a social space, not being someone who wanted to be forward. Um, and then all the way to where it is today, where the landscape is always changing, but like the basics are always there. And so I've built in the different seasons of marketing and social selling in general. And then personally, I have built in different seasons of being a newlywed and then working full time and fitting in business and growing a business while working 40, 50 hours a week. And then I have built in this season of no kids, no job. But then it's not that it's harder, it's just different because you have no structure to your life. And you're like, well, what do I do today? Like, what do I work on when I sit down? And then the seasons of being a new mom, and then I had 2 babies in 2 years. They have the same birth week, so literally 2 years. And not being someone, like, if you remember, I grew up in business, which means I never babysat. Was never alone with children before my own, like solely in charge of a baby before was my own. And I was so, business focused then, and trying to figure out what motherhood looked like while not losing that side of me, the business side of me. So I've built in that season, and then I've built in now 2 toddlers. They're now 2 and 4, and they're very, very busy and all over the place. And I really could only record either this time of day when there's naps happening or late at night. But just, point being, I've built in different seasons. So I feel like that's one of the reasons why I'm so passionate about systems and structure, like flexible structure. It might sound like it's an oxymoron, but that's how I live my life. Like I have structure, but there's flexibility to it because that's why I do what I do. I'm not here to have golden handcuffs. But I'm so passionate about that because I've built in every season. I have built through loss and trauma and grief. If you know me personally, we have had some crazy family trauma over the past 4 years, and honestly longer than that, but mostly last 4 years. And so building through all of that, and I look back at in those seasons and having the structure and things in place that I did and the system set up that I did, is why my business stayed afloat. And so now I'm in this season where I am so passionate, and I feel like I just want to share my knowledge with people. I want to change lives, and I've seen what the social selling space does for people, and just selling online and the freedom of being able to see your, if this is what you want. I know not everybody wants to work from home. I'm very well aware of that. But having the option to work when and where and how you want, and not missing one thing of your kids or your life or whatever your why is. Maybe you don't want kids. Maybe it's just you and your husband, or maybe you're young and you're not married and you just want to travel and not, spend your 20s and 30s, chained to a desk. I'm just passionate about that. So now I am still full-time building. I'm still in the field. I'm still doing all of the things. And that's not going to change, because that is my true main focus and passion. And I fully and truly believe in the industry. And then alongside of that, I want to just have a space that I can educate and pour into people and help people. So this is one example of that. This channel. So who this channel is for is basically, if you sell something, it's for you. Yes, I am in the network marketing, social sales, direct sales, whatever you want to call it, space. But there's so many concepts within that space that apply to all types of social selling. I can teach you systems and funnels and content strategies and all of that if you are on TikTok shop, that's going to benefit you. Or if you sell, I always say, like, the random people, it just cracks me up how much the internet is changing lives, because you have people that are selling cups for hours on TikTok, or you have people that are going live on Facebook with makeup looks, or you have, Instagram reels that are popping off and going viral. And then you have the automation in the back end. And it's all, if you sell something, this is for you. And so I just have this love of marketing. I have this love of, the human brain and how it works. I'm a huge fan of systems and strategy, and not just like throwing things at the wall and seeing what hits, and living your life in a structured and flexible way, like I said. So that is why I created this channel, is for that. And honestly, it's mostly going to be for women, because I do have a female approach to everything. But maybe, I'm sure it can help men as well. But if you are, even a content creator, and you want some systems and you want some strategy, this is for you. So that's why everything that I say is social selling, because if you sell socially, this is for you. All right. So what you're going to get here. So I have content and conversions. I have a lot of videos of that. I have a lot ready to go. I have a lot that I'm working on editing. Speaking of editing, you're going to see some styles change over the first, probably 20, because I also have ADD, is why I do a lot of like planned out edited things, because if not, I could sit here and talk all day. But I will teach you, whenever you get to a level of wanting to scale, that there are some things that, even though you're good at them, even though you enjoy doing them, are they a time suck, and can you outsource them so that you can stay in your zone of genius? And one of those things is editing. I love it. I love editing. I love, the creative aspects of it. And I can be such a perfectionist that I can spend like 6 hours editing a 6-minute video. And that's not where my time needs to be. And so with this channel, I've made the decision so that instead of having like 6 videos that I pumped out and I edited and I did everything, I could have 26 videos, because I'm just over here doing getting the knowledge out there, getting the tools, the systems and everything, and creating all of the back end of what freebies and things that you need. And someone else can be doing the heavy lifting on the editing. So I'll also teach you all about outsourcing, how to find your people, how to vet them, all of that. And one of the things, which there will be a whole training on this, is that when you are outsourcing and you are, trying to figure out who you're going to go with, I like hiring a few different people, giving them not the same project, because you might as well have like 3 different videos and have them edited differently. So then you have potentially 3 videos done. But kind of best man wins, right? Or maybe you find two that you can go like half part-time to in case something happens with one, you have somebody else. So that's what I'm doing right now is I have different people editing my videos and we're going to see which one I stick with. I don't know. Haven't made the final decision yet, but I'm working with 4 different people right now that are doing some of my editing. So you're going to see styles all over the place because all editors are going to be different. So I wanted to just kind of address that up front because there's not going to be consistency for the first few. But then once we get in a flow, once I figure out what I like, what my audience likes, if you want to see captions or are the captions distracting? Do you want to see, screen recordings, like those kind of things, and just figuring it out together instead of waiting for it to be perfect and everything match and all of that, which I can do. I can take 10x the time that it should take because of my perfectionism. And that's my number one struggle in business, honestly. But anyways, I'm going to be a lot of trainings on content, branding, things like that, systems. So CRMs and email and funnels and all of that kind of things. Systems, whenever it also comes to your life, organization, productivity. I'm a huge fan of I always say I love gadgets and I love platforms. Like I love just like learning new platforms that are out there. Even if I don't use platforms, I usually know what they do and just kind of like an overview of them so that I can compare. And then I have to make sure that I don't just always switch from platform to platform. When I say platform, let's say, ConvertKit versus Flowdesk versus, a different one, right? But I know I try and keep a pulse on all of them because one might come out with a feature that is worth moving over from, and I will help you with all of that. And then also I'm going to be bringing some, mindset things and leadership and duplication and those things probably, especially on the duplication, like if there might be a video that's like how to duplicate email to your team, that is probably for people who are in the social selling space. But then the video that's how to set up a Flowdesk workflow after an opt-in on your social media link or whatever, that's for anybody. So whichever bucket you fall into, you can do either one. And then I'm also going to be doing some things like this where I come live and maybe we'll do some like working Zooms together. I don't know. I'm just going to see where it leads, what people need. I do plan on doing some, because I love doing these things, some screen recordings of, Canva hacks and CapCut and, just different things. You might have seen, if you follow me on Instagram, little plug, AJ.Yates Inc. on Instagram, you'll see that I have some on there about, how to change the story background, the color on there, or it might be, how to create a clickable PDF in Canva. I'm going to do little ones like that too. So it's basically all things social selling. That's branding, content, sales, psychology, strategy, time management, all of that. I'm not going to be married to how many episodes that air. I'm going to shoot for at least 2 a week. But also I have a multi-million-dollar business to run. I got 2 babies and I do travel a lot. Optional. I always say, I feel like some people, I've actually was told once that they couldn't do what I do because they can't travel like I do. And I'm like, you don't have to go on any of the things that I travel for. But I mean, when your job takes you to Singapore, Ireland, Paris, Rome, all the way to Vegas, Texas, Florida, wherever you go. So anyways, I'm all over the place. So I do want to honor the lifestyle that I've worked so hard for. But I am so, so excited about this channel and this platform. My promise to you is that everything that I teach, it is something that I have put into action myself. I've learned, I've tested, I've simplified it, I've tweaked, I've turned it into, what it is today. And I'm never going to be a person that just like, here's a random concept from another trainer and just brings it to you. Anything that I do or I bring you are things that I have personally done myself, or it might be someone that I have a trusted relationship with that maybe they're blowing up on TikTok shop and I bring them on to help you learn all things about that. Or maybe it's someone who has a different approach to social selling or whatever content creation. I can bring some of those things into maybe through interviews. We'll see what I do, but that is my promise for this channel. Some things might overwhelm you and be over your head. Just skip that and watch the next one. That's okay too. One of my friends told me that the number one problem I'm gonna be having with this channel is trying to simplify things. And I'm like, I know, but it's okay. The people who do, if you want the simplified version, that'll be on here. If you want the expert version, that'll be on here too. So maybe I'll do like playlists on YouTube based on, what kind of level it is, if it's beginner or advanced. So, yes. So, if you are ready to join me for this journey, I would love if you would subscribe. You could share it with your team in chats, or anybody that you're in business with that you think that this could help. I will be taking little, clips from this channel and putting them on Instagram so that when new episodes are coming out. And you can also, I'll put the link below here, how to get on my newsletter. And I'll also teach you how to do all these things as well. That's the fun thing, is that I get to like teach all of this. I feel like, in my personal social selling business, a lot of people are beginner. They've never done anything on the social selling space. Maybe they don't even have a social media. And then I come in and I'm like, okay, you can do this funnel and you can do this and you can do this. And it just, I have to like simplify it. But I love to have these higher level topics so that I have a place that I can say, okay, but if you're already here and you want to scale, check out my YouTube channel, because that's where there's even more information about scaling and all of that. So I'm so excited to have this place, and I'm so excited you're here. And I just hope that you find, something amazing through this, and it can help you scale and it can help you live the life of your dreams, because I know this industry has done that for me. So subscribe, like, share, get on my email list, all of that. And I have some videos to start posting. All right. Thank you. And you will hear me say at the end of all of these, you've got this and I've got you. I'll see you on the next one.